It's very nice to hear such a wonderful Malayalam after a long time. And I was stunned by his speech. After that, my hands and hands are little bit shaking. Very profound thought about Hindutva forces and the fascist forces. First of all, I want to thank the Solidarity Youth Movement in Kerala. I'm very, very happy. I'm sitting in midst of thinkers, young people. And when you come to Kerala, you always really enjoy, the intellectualism, the wisdom, and the attitude of protest and resilience by people in Kerala. I think that is the essence of Kerala. You don't need to be a Marxist, but I think that everybody has something in their blood, in the system, always fighting for justice. I really want to appreciate that. I see a lot of my Muslim sisters who are sitting here. You would be very happy that I work with the Dalit women and Dalit communities in India. I work with the urban poor, unorganized labor, women, and very recently I brought the Dalit women, the tribal women, the Muslim minority women, 150 to 200 women in New Delhi, and made them to speak, who are sitting in the power. Of course, the government has changed. But I said that the alliance of Dalit, the tribals, and the Muslim minorities and other minorities must be there. In sociology, we call these people the subalterns. I think the subalterns has the power to change not only our lives, but also transform the society which is unjust, which is very, very persecutive in nature. When it comes to women, they don't see anything, but they see us as sex object. And there is always, the patriarchy really oppresses. Therefore, I think the casteism is the longest hierarchy in the world which survived. Recently, yesterday, the Times of India had said that there are 70 generations ago, caste stopped people intermixing. 70 generations ago, this was a study done by, people. A recent study identified 5 genetic pools that intermingled till 1,600 years ago to form the Indian code, which means the hierarchy on caste system is very, very old. We may oppose, communalism, but it is very difficult to oppose casteism, because casteism in our houses, casteism is in our bedrooms. Therefore, no intellectual, no academician will really like to question the caste system. That is the truth. I know many friends who will gather around with me when there is an attack on Muslims. But when a Dalit woman have been, made to walk on the road nakedly, and she is not an ordinary woman. She is an elected Panchayat woman who went to hoist the flag in MP, in Madhya Pradesh. The people around her said, how can a Dalit woman can hoist this national flag? The flag's, respect and value really diminish if she raises. You mean to say that she's an ordinary woman? No. She's a Panchayat, Sarpanch. When she went to hoist the flag, I know she has been debrobed and made to run on the roads. This is the conditions of the Dalit women. By saying Dalit women, my emphasis is not only for them. What is the life situations of the Muslim women in Gujarat? In 2002, I've been specially called because I work with the women to see the conditions of Gujarat massacre. Gujarat, the situation, how they persecuted, the Muslims, the conditions of women. I cannot, talk in public like that. The sexual sexual violences against them was so therefore today the gender violences, not only by the men in our families, but I think by religion, by the state, is so horrifying. In this kind of attacks, the conditions, the hierarchy, the inequality that the Dalit people for ages experiencing, I think it should bother us. Caste really determine the nature of what work you should do, what work should not do. I come into the crux of the problem quite. I come from Karnataka. In Karnataka, in the districts where there is less rain, drought-prone areas, Dharwad, Gulbarga, in all these places, in the name of religion and in the name of caste, even today, young women or children are dedicated to gods and goddesses. When they are dedicated to gods and goddesses, in that village, the upper caste men, the dada, big dada, will come and, exploit her, sexually, and he continues to do that. Not only one girl, many girls. That is the prerogative right of the men of the higher caste in those areas. They tell the Dalit people, if you don't, dedicate your daughters, rain will not come. God will punish us. Therefore, your girls must be dedicated. It is called, in the modern language, a sexual slavery. The United Nations calls that Devadasi system. It is prevalent in Karnataka, Konkan region, and in, Maharashtra. Finally, all these young girls end up in the brothel houses. This is an exploitation of Dalit women. Yesterday, there was a meeting in Bangalore was organized. Everybody says in Karnataka, we have abolished, Devadasi system. We have abolished. By law, we have abolished. You show where is it? I saw an academician, a scholar, who studying in Karnataka University. He said in a public meeting like this, my mother is a Devadasi, my sister is a Devadasi. Yesterday he told in the public meeting. So the system continues. But, the progressive movements in India, especially the feminist movements, doesn't take this issue very, very seriously, because the experiences of Dalit people is unknown to people. It is invisibilized. Do you know that in Chennai, very recently, not even 1 month ago, everybody is talking about Rohit's death on the other side from Hyderabad. There were 4 people who died in the canal of scavenging. They went inside, the carbon monoxide came in and they died. 4 people. In all the big cities of India, in a shining India, make in India of Modi development, he says that still people are dying in the sewerages. Why it doesn't disturb us? In Gujarat itself, in UP, there are people hired to do this work, manual scavenging, men and women on the roads of the metropolitan cities. These are called the smart cities. There are new terms. The modern cities are called the smart cities. The smart cities have full of garbages. I think Kerala is better when I'm seeing, I think there is less garbage, at least in Alappuzha. Yeah? In Bangalore, the garden city it's called. You all know Bangalore. Bangalore used to be the pensioners' paradise. Garden cities. You should go and see the garden city. People do not know where to go and put the garbage. So in those cities, still people, human persons are able to, are not able to get jobs anywhere. They have to go because it suits all of us. So there are certain people must do the same work as their father. I wanted to say something here, that the tradition of caste, even today in the modern world, is kept by certain people are doing certain work. So this is manual scavenging. Not only they go into the sewerage pit, they also clean up the dry latrines. When it's raining, I've seen women carrying the pots. Carrying the pots. Do you know how many people in this country are doing that? 700,000. That means 7 lakh people. But there is a law saying that manual scavenging is abolished. By law, there are hundreds of laws in our country. Nothing has been implemented. One such law is Manual Scavenging Abolition Act. Devadasi System Abolition Act. Okay, what is happening today? Everybody is crying, oh, Dalit in this country, the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe. And after, the BCs have been included, government of India and government of every state is appeasing them to get their votes. We have already, India is reached the year of 67, 68. Till today, we are not able to give them a good education, good dignity. The Rohit case exposes caste institutions, caste injustices in our higher education. I hope every one of us are reading every day. All the papers are writing. Every day there is somebody is writing in Hindu, Times of India. I'm sure in Malayalam papers, it has been written about Rohit Vemula's case. So now the discussion is whether he is a Dalit or non-Dalit. Whether mother is a Dalit or father is a Dalit. That is the kind of level of discussion is going on. This guy, Rohit, has got a seat for his PhD in a general quota, not even a quota of SC. A science student got already 2 meritorious scholarships. But what happened? The torture given to them, because he belonged to one institution, Ambedkar Association in Hyderabad University. Last year, I went to speak in that same college on an Ambedkar day. I think that boy, Rohit, must have been somewhere there sitting and listening to me. That boy, very silently went through humiliation. For several months, he did not get a scholarship. You can see how caste injustice in our modern institution prevails. Caste injustices is reduced to formal boundaries. In formal institution, where caste has been abolished, where caste system prevails. Like the Nirbhaya case in New Delhi, where it is exposed the rape of a woman in public, road. Rohit, who is studying in this college, in this institution, really a reveal. Like anyone who is humane, who has a heart, will cry, will at least cry in his heart how this young man died. All India Institute of Medical Science in New Delhi, many meritorious, boys and girls were given marks, 20 marks, 25 marks when they enter into in these institutions. What does it show? What does it show? These institutions must be only ruled by Brahminical ideology. So, they will appropriate every knowledge. They will acquire every knowledge. How can a Dalit boy coming from such a background can be a first-class meritorious student? So, the knowledge is being completely in the hands of the upper caste and dominant caste. I think people who are here, not ordinary citizens who are just walking on the road. You're all thinking citizens. You must think what is happening in our institutions. Today, Dalit culture, Dalit dance, Dalit knowledge, Dalit science has been acquired, assimilated, and appropriated. The great Bharatanatyam dance, once the dance of the women who were dancing in temples, today the dance has been usurped by the upper caste women. All the beatings that we do in the cinemas have appropriated for commercial reasons. Yeah, when the Dalits beat in the villages, they are called these parapaye, that, all these, these untouchable will beat and make noises. But for commercial reasons, every cinema has, in Tamil I know the word, these numbers, what numbers they are called? Kuttupattu. In every picture, there will be a dance, shaking of women and men bodies. So that Kuttupattu dances and music has been appropriated to make money. If there is no Kuttupattu song, there will not be that picture will not prosper. So what I am saying today, the knowledge, the capacities, the work has been appropriated, but these people are inappropriately used. In all the colleges, they'll say, no, there is no problem like this exists at all. Even if you ask in Kerala, they will say, not at all, there was a class problem. So, the class nature of division we are opposing. That is a tradition of Marxism, that we oppose, class divisions. We don't have caste problem at all. What happens when we marry? Marriages are within. Marriages are within. So, I would say that there is sometimes total denial. Oh, there is nothing like this exists. We respect everybody. There is something like this is not existing at all. Even the University of Hyderabad is saying, there is nothing like this exists. You now see how many deaths are going to come in the papers. You will understand how many persons are going to the court of indiscrimination and injustices they practice against them in these modern universities. Some people say, oh yes, it is there, but we have very good counseling centers. We have very, very good, every structures that will take care of these younger people coming from depressed classes. We will put them up. We should know that the caste system, as I told you, it is very old. It is many years. It is several years. I thought if I read little bit, it is easier to move along. The system of caste is a terrific force of stability and against change. A force that stabilizes all manners and dishonors and lies. This is Ram Manohar Logi had said. One of the leading sociologists at Jawaharlal University says, instead of dispersed inequality, we find in caste system accumulated inequalities in education, in health, in employment, in speaking, in eating, in everything, treating women as dust, as a sexual object, anything, all kinds of inequalities, where social and political power is concentrated into the hands of the same group, that is India. That is why Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, when he went to the Simon Commission, he says, India will receive freedom, but my people will not get freedom. It's easy to impress upon somebody who comes from outside and tell them, hey, why are you treating us like this? But our own people deny the existence of a caste. He says, when will our people will have this freedom? We have achieved political democracy. We have not achieved economic and social democracy. That is India. This caste system is reinforced and legitimized by religion, to start with Hindu religion. Now, the Hindutva forces trying to change every good Hindu as a forces to inculcate a spirit that India belong to them. That India will be belong to only to Hindus. No place for Muslims, no place for Christians, no place for other minorities. Do we need such an India? When secularism die, India will die. That is one of the writings of Justice Krishna Iyer. When secularism, the secular agenda disappears from India, the India will die. You and I cannot sit in public meeting like this, because people will ask, where did you get this idea of a secularism? Thank God that our constitution has been aided by not, lesser than, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. If somebody would have written our constitution, what would have happened? We women would have never got voting rights. We women would have not got voting rights as men got it on the first day. Though it says one man, one vote, luckily one woman, one vote. There itself, equality has been spoken very, very strongly. So therefore, today, the principles of equality, as you start our constitution, the preamble, it says there shall be no discrimination on the basis of class, caste, religion, sex, and gender. Very, very clearly. He foresaw what will happen in India. The Hindutva forces trying to tamper with that. I think that people who will be affected by this, we should be in the forefront to oppose any of those nonsenses. Not only it legitimizes that you are, this, you are that. Put a circle, put on everybody one circle. They put us into blocks. You are Muslim, you are Hindu, you are Christian. Stay in the boxes, don't mingle. If you are a man, your job is to oppress women. Woman, you have to subjugate yourself. Be silent, don't talk in public. Why this Ruth Manorama is shouting like this? Can't you talk very silently? How can I talk silently? Because the culture of silence prevailed along with Hindutva forces. What is happening today? Women, we have to guard ourselves much more. We have to prove ourselves much more. The moral policing. You see, double standards. There is no one single standard for everybody. Everybody will say, even as a mother, I will say to my daughter, Ma, please come back soon because there will be trouble on the road. Because something happens to men, something he does, nothing will, comes out. If something happens to women, it is very bad. So the double standard that prevails in our society. So I think that as I told you, it is, the caste system survives in India for 5,000 years. It helps the forces. It helps the Hindutva forces to keep women in that place. It helps the Hindutva forces today to keep the Dalit in their places. I don't know about Kerala. Throughout India, I walked throughout India. I went almost to all the states in India. In every village, there are two types of village exist. Do you all know about this? One is called village, another one is called colony. We were once colonized country, India, and we got freedom. But you are still in India colonies. Why? The brown men are ruling us. Today the brown men has not only a color, a religion which gives them a license to do whatever they want. They tell women, you cannot go and sit in a shop where there is a bar. So the press came and asked me, Ruth Manorama, what do you say in Mangalore? Girls are also sitting and drinking. Huh? They are sitting in the farmhouses. What are you saying about it? I said, it is very convenient for me. Please remove all the alcohol shops. Remove all the bars. So men and women won't go there. That's very easy, isn't it? But when women sits there, that's a problem. So women are told how to dress, how to speak, how to act, how to eat, how to behave. Even when my husband pour kerosene on me, strangulate me by knives, my parents will say, go back, please go back and live with that same man. Why? There are other 2-3 sisters are there at home. So you cannot marry. You cannot marry her to some other persons. So it is difficult. So women are made to adjust all the time. So Dalits also. So in Rohit life, that is what happened. Rohit is not just a Dalit student. He is a philosopher, he is a scholar. He is a man with spirituality. In his letter that he has written, he never even returned to take revenge against the people, the professors, Smita Rani and Datraya, and the government department, the police. He didn't say anything. He said very, very nice words. And then he ended his life. It's much more than what he could say. Rohit voices is haunting all the universities today. They must learn a lesson. The universities must learn a lesson. What they should learn? To treat every student who go to the college, to the university with respect and dignity. I am not saying that they must only treat the Dalit people. They must treat the Dalit boys, Dalit women, Dalit girls, Muslim boys, Adivasi women, even leave Brahmin women and anybody for that matter with respect. That is where they will learn respect and dignity. Can we all work for that? This is secular India. How do we bring secular India? Yesterday I was in a meeting. We were discussing about annihilation of caste. Annihilation of caste, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. In 1936, he wrote this book. Why he wrote this book? Is it difficult for you to? Yes. In 1936, he wrote the book addressing the Indian, people. Whatever he was able to put his thought, he put his thought through constitution, which got the vote from the constituent assembly. It has been accepted, okay? Whatever he could not say it in the constitution, he was writing and writing and writing. One such book is Annihilation of Caste. Annihilation of caste to educate all of us that we must transcend, we must transform our society and make this society a casteless society where men and women can stand up and say, yes, India is a secular country, India is a democratic country, we rule ourselves. This book called Hatred in the Belly. I think all the students must read this. A publisher called Nayana Publisher and very well-known author Arundhati Roy had written an introduction to Ambedkar writing on this book called, Annihilation of Caste. Every time that Nayana and Miss Arundhati, great writer, Arundhati Roy, says, Though I am a Syrian Christian, I am praising Ambedkar. And I am assessing Ambedkar in great way. You know, she writes a book called A Dalit Doctor and a Poet. In that, she gives an introduction. This guy called, the Nayana publication, his name is S. Anand. He is also saying, I am a Brahmin. I am glorifying Dr. Ambedkar by publishing his books or whatever. In order to sell their books, they use annihilation of caste. So all the intellectual students and all that, they've been writing. Because, as I told you before, in this country, the knowledge of Dalit capital will not be tolerated by the Brahminical, intellectual capital. So somebody is trying to write an introduction to his book. You can make a critic out of a book. You can give you can give something. So she is trying to give introduction by justifying herself. What is she? I don't know why she has gone into doing that. So I think Hatred in the Belly, that books is a compilation which people have written in the website, and they brought it together. There is a lot of discussion going on in order to just see how Rohit Vemula's case will be kept alive so that people will really change their attitude. So, Annihilation of Caste in 1936 has been written. I think that it's a very cheap copy. When he is written in 1936, that book costed only 8 annas. I think now it will cost about 20 rupees or 25 rupees. I think we must read it. Annihilation of Caste. Everybody cannot write. Somebody who went through caste discrimination, torture as a Dalit. Even Dr. Ambedkar, while he was sitting in the front row, teachers usually send him a back row. Everyone will get a chair, small chairs on the stools. And that lady in the class will put one sack, coney sack for him to sit down. When he was given water in the class, somebody has to pour water to drink. When his brother and him were going in a bullock cart, that bullock cart man came to know they are Dalit. In the night, they left him on the road and ran away. When he was a minister in Maharashtra, a Brahmin peon would not carry his file. Constantly he was tortured in the parliament. Whenever he brought in discussion, bringing an uniform civil code for all the women, he was told that it was not possible to bring a common code at that time. Now they are trying to bring it, which is now is, it's not needed. So what I'm saying that the spaces has been defined. For knowledge, it has been defined. Where are the dissenting voices? Or not heard? Right to speech is not there. Right to expression, right to practice of our own religion is not done. I think today annihilation of caste really means de-Brahminizing the history. De-Brahminizing the history. You can ask me later, what does it mean? We need inclusiveness in our understanding of politics, as secular politics. We need to understand what is inclusiveness. Other than you, everybody outside. Muslims are outside, Christians are outside, because we came from UK, Muslims have come from Pakistan, so you are out. Where is inclusiveness? Where is participatory? There are 4,000 castes are there in India into the category of reservation. 300, 800 castes are out from reservation. Only 200 castes under reservation. But that 200 reservation caste in education, in employment, they don't get priority, leave alone Muslims. You never get it. The tribals will never get it in this country. Because anybody who is struggling, who are fighting, we have a good name called terrorist in this country. Anybody who is making a dissent voice, opposing something injustices, all of us are extremists and terrorists. Many women activists are in that bracket. So therefore, I think that it's a time that has come that we should not be afraid. We should not be afraid to say what is wrong and right. Today, the media has been saffronized. They will buy all the magnets, business magnets, to pursue. I recently stood in election in Bangalore for an MP candidate. One side, very strong man, who is a capitalist, who has a lot of money. On the other side, a BJP person with a lot of, 5 years. He was there, and the 6th year he was standing. So the press asked me, Ruth Manorama, you are definitely going to lose your election. I said, thank you very much. You are already decided, because that must be also, these two guys would have said, tell Ruth Manorama that she will not win. I said, I know that I will not win. But I told in the public meeting, I said, both of them with their money and their saffronizing ideology, I am caught between them. I've been sandwiched between them, I said. Today, my people are sandwiched between the neo-colonists, the Hindutva forces on one side, and the neoliberalists on the other side, with their money. Dr. Ambedkar, in his writing, had said that I am not against Brahmins, I am against Brahminism and capitalism on the other side. It suppresses people. It takes away the rights of the people. The agenda of saffronization is not only on the basis of color and caste. It wanted to take advantage over economic domination. It wanted to take away the land, usurp the land, make us, paupers and beggars in this country. Give away all this to the neo-imperialists. How much road that has been taken from all our cities and villages. All the agricultural land has been taken away. So that within 10 years, we will not have food from our own country. We will have to import everything from outside. So today, against the mantra of globalization, liberalization, and privatization, had Hindutva forces on one side. Dr. Ambedkar, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, calls all of us. Let us stand along with the youth movement today. Let us stand and declare that we will educate our masses. We will educate the educated group. We will educate our sisters and brothers and our children. Educate, educate, and organize. With this I stop, because though I wanted to say a lot more, I don't have time. Thank you for this opportunity.